So what are future contracts? Future contracts is an agreement made between two parties A and B to buy or sell a specific asset for the date in the future at the terms decided today. That means whenever two parties agrees on a predefined terms at current day and to buy or sell a particular asset which is going to execute in a future, that contract we call it as forward. Let's take an example. There are two persons A and B. A wants to buy gold from B. A wants to buy gold from B at some random price. Let's suppose we take price of 30,000 rupees. So A want to buy gold at price 30,000 from B, but he want to buy it next week or next month. Suppose the current date is 1st Jan and he wants to buy gold at 1st of February at the same price. So what they will do is they will make an agreement. Where A agrees to buy a gold and B agrees to sell a gold at this particular price at their own terms and condition. So when they make this type of contract, this we call it as a forward contract, and on 1st of February, A is supposed to pay him 30,000 rupees to the B, and B is supposed to pay to deliver the gold which they have agreed to A. So when this sort of transaction happens, we call it as a future contract. Now there are certain conditions involved over here, or there are certain risks involved over here. Let's suppose on the 1st Feb, the price of gold increases to 30,500. Now what will happen? This A will be happy because the gold which is worth of rupees 30,500, he will get it for 30,000 rupees, whereas B will be in loss because he has to bear a loss of 500 rupees, which is less than the market price. And there is a condition vice versa. Suppose if the gold prices reaches to 29,500, then A will be at loss because the contract was of 30,000 rupees and the same gold is available in the market as a less price. And here B will be in profit because he is selling gold costlier than the market price. So there are certain conditions involved over here in the forward contracts. There is a risk of default depending upon the price change, because whenever the price changes, the person who has incentive on the default will likely to default. So these are our future contracts. Let's discuss about the risk involved. So there are two major limitations associated with forward contracts, which are liquidity risk and counterparty risk. When we say about liquidity risk, how we define liquidity risk is that when we say about liquidity is the availability of the contract in the market. Since the forward contracts, these are tailor-made contracts. Basically, these are custom contracts which are made between two parties on their predefined conditions. So there is high possibility that before the maturity of the contract, you might not able to exit out from the same contract. Why? Because the condition which they have decided might be unique and other person may not be interested on those conditions. So these are the liquidity risks. The next risk is counterparty risk. So in the counterparty, what will happen, as discussed, whenever the price changes in the future, there might be possibility that one of the two parties who has incentive to default, means when the price goes high, the seller might not interested in selling because he will get higher price in the market, or when the price decreases, the buyer might not want to buy from this seller because the same commodities is available in the market at a cheaper price. So there is a counterparty risk associated with the forward contracts because there is no central authority who govern the terms and conditions. This totally depend upon the mutual trust which might break. So these are the two risks associated with the forward contracts. To mitigate all those risks, we have future contracts. future contracts are the contracts. Basically, future contracts are like forward contracts, but they are traded over the exchange. So we call them future contracts. So future contracts are the contracts which are traded on the exchange, and these are not exchange traded contracts. So we call them as OTC contracts, which is the over the counter contracts. So let's start with the future contract. So let's start with the future contract. So to overcome the limitation of forwards, we have created future contracts. Future contracts are nothing but simply an agreement which are traded through exchange. So future contract is an agreement made through an organized exchange to buy or sell a commodity or any asset on a future date at a pre-agreed price. So these are the future contract. So we can simply say that futures are the standardized version of forward contracts that are traded through exchange. A clearing house associated with the exchange make sure that the contracts settled successfully. That means a clearing house will be responsible for all the contracts successful of the contracts transaction at the future date. So let's see the features of future contracts. The contract, this is a contract between two parties through exchange. There is a centralized trading platform available where buyer and seller, they both can trade their future contracts. One of the feature of future contract is the price discovery. That is, whenever the futures are available for the trade, people who are interested in buying and selling, they buy at their defined price or sell at their defined price, which somehow helps in price discovery, fair price discovery of that particular assets, or we can say the underlying of the future. Since the margins are payable by both the parties in advance at the time of buying or selling the contract, there will be very low chances of the default. The quality and quantity of the contracts are pre-decided. So these are the standardized contract with the pre-decided quality and the quantity. So these are some of the features of future contract. The two term which we have to understand over here is long and short. So whenever there is a contract between two parties, the one who buys the contract will take a long position, the one who sells the contract will take a short position. Instead of defining buying or selling, we say person A is long on this particular contract or a person B is short on this particular contract. So when we say long, that means a buyer, a user has bought this contract in the intention that prices may go high. When we say a person has sold this contract, we will say a person is short in this particular contract in a view that prices may fall in the future. So again, when the trade happens between two persons, it's totally depend on their intention that whether prices may go high or whether the prices may go down. So whenever a person buy a contract, we say he is on a long position. Whenever a person sell a contract, he is on short position. So let's say person A and person B. In the previous example, we take example of gold. If a person A is interested in buying gold, so we'll say that A is long in contract, and whenever a person B wants to sell the gold, the person B will be short in contract or short position in contract. So the long position or the short position. These are the two important terms which we are going to use throughout our futures and options, or these are the two terms we generally use instead of buying or selling, because essentially when these contracts settled, there is no physical trade between the two, but only the profit and loss which is going to be there is going to settle down. So let's understand some terminologies. These are some terms. This is basically the snapshot which we have taken from the NSE website. This snapshot as of 9th August 2010. We have some information about the Nifty future index. So we have instrument type which is future index. The underlying of Nifty future index is Nifty. The expiry date is some 26th of August 2010. The open price of this contract for this particular day would be is this. There is some high price, there is some low price, there is some close price, and there is last traded price which we called as LTP. So these are the five prices associated with the future contracts. Then we have number of contracts traded on that particular day. We have total turnover. We have underlying value. Underlying value is the value of the underlying asset. So this is the closing price. This is the closing price of this asset. And then we have some open interest, which is the number of shares at a particular time. The open interest at a particular time, that means as of 9th of August 2010 at the time of closing, the open interest on this particular asset is this much amount. So let's go through each terms one by one and what does they signify. So when we say the spot price, so this is the contract, this is a future contract. When we say the spot price is the price of underlying asset. So our underlying asset over here is Nifty. The spot price of Nifty would be the underlying value, this thing. So our spot price would be 5486. The spot price of any future contracts is the value of its underlying. So when we say underlying of future contracts, that means the underlying is Nifty. So when we say here underlying is Nifty because this contract was derived from Nifty. When we say future price is the price of the contract. So at the time of closing, the price of contract was this 5482. So we say that the closing price of the future is, or the future price is this. So whenever we have a contract has particular expiry date. That means, what do we mean by expiry date? Expiry date is the last trading day of that particular contract. In this scenario, the last trading day is 26th of 2010. So when we say expiry date, this is the expiry date because this is the last date when this contract will trade. Then we have a term called tick size. What do we mean by tick size? Whenever trade happens on an exchange, we have a small amount by which trade increments or decrements. So that we called as a tick size. So in our index or in our cash transaction, equity or derivative, the tick size is 0.05 paisa. So minimum tick would be of 5 paisa. We will not have any price of 0.06 or 0.08 sort of thing. We will have 0.05, 1, 1.5 and 2 and this sort of values we will have. So the steps, we can say the minimum amount by which any stock will increase or decrease is the tick size, which is 0.05 rupees or 5 paisa or 0.05 rupees. Then we have contract size. Contract size, when we say contract size is the number of quantity which are available in that particular contract, which is predefined. In this contract, the contract size was 50 and contract price. So when we say contract price, we multiply the contract size multiply the price of this particular, we will get the contract price of this particular contract. Next term we have is basis. Basis is a term. So basis, what does it mean? Basis is the difference between the spot price and the future price. So whenever the spot price is greater than the future price, we say that the basis is positive, or the spot price is greater than, if the spot price is lesser than the future price, we say the basis is negative. So this is a term where we define whether the basis is positive or negative. So whenever the spot price is greater than future price, we say there is a positive basis. Whenever the spot price is less than the future price, or the future price is higher than the spot price, we say the basis is negative. The next term over here is cost of carry. What do we mean by cost of carry? Take an example. Suppose person A wants to buy a share of rupees 100 for 1 year, and he don't have money to buy that particular share. So he will borrow the money from the market. Suppose he borrows money at an interest of 6% per annum. So, and let's assume during that particular year, a company gives the dividend of 2 rupees per share. So, in 1 year, my total cost of carry would be interest paid minus of dividend received. So, he has paid interest of 6 rupees and he has received a dividend of 2 rupees. So, the net cost he has to pay is 4 rupees. So, 4 rupees would be the cost of carry, and we can say he can break even on 104 rupees. So, the cost of carry would simply be the interest paid on that tenure minus whatever amount he has received as a dividend. So, that amount would be the cost of carry.